The CHR is Toyota's most unique vehicle. Toyota designed it to stand out on the exterior and the interior. And we're going to take a look at both and go for a test drive and see if this thing fits you. Thank you, Toyota, for sending this to me today. Let's get started. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. So it's important to note that this is a 2018 model, while Toyota has made changes already for the 2019 model. So first of all, with the 2018 you get an XLE and an XLE Premium. We have the XLE Premium here. There's no XLE Premium on the 2019 models. You will get the LE, the XLE, and then the limited trim for the top end trim, which is more like Toyota's style, and we will go over those features after we walk around right here. Let's take a look at the CHR styling and features on the outside, and this is very unique. It's very edgy, definitely uncharacteristic for Toyota, but this stems from a concept and it really looks a lot like the concept. So every CHR will have halogen headlights, no LED headlights, but we do have LED daytime running lights on the inside of the headlight, and then the blinker is on the inside of the LED daytime running light. So on the XLE Premium trim, you will also get fog lights down below. Those are also halogen, and no LED fog or headlights on the 2018 model. I'll talk about 2019 in a little bit. As we come around the side in this corner, I want to know what you guys think of this styling. It has quite a long wheelbase for the dimensions of the vehicle. Proportionately, it's pretty unique and very interesting. And it actually kind of has some big wheels. In fact, on the 2018 models, standard are 18-inch Vortex wheels. Those are pretty big wheels for a vehicle of this size, and they definitely stand out, as you can see right there. And it does have indicators in the mirror, and on the XLE Premium, we do have the blind spot, the little blind spot indicators on the inside as well, and those are actually power folding mirrors, and they go with the smart key system, which I'll show you in just a bit. The cool thing about this car is sometimes subcompacts can be known for being noisy, but this does have an acoustic noise reducing windshield. So a thicker windshield to help keep some noise out. Interesting thing about these back doors is they kind of wanted to make it coupe-like and look like a coupe. The door handles are actually right up there, and I'll show you what it's like to get inside. I've heard some other people say this, but this definitely reminds me of a Honda Civic taillight design. There's no LEDs back here, which would be nice to see. But this is a very unique looking rear end. It definitely slopes back pretty quick with that glass right there. It's almost like it's straight back, and that just gives it some unique design, but it does kind of cut into the cargo space, which we will cover in just a second. This does have a backup camera below the Toyota logo, plus a touch sensor to open up the rear gate or the rear hatch. It's important to know that for all CHRs, no matter what trim level you have, you will have the Toyota Safety Sense, the TSSP, which will give you pre-collision with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with assist, automatic high beams, and full speed radar cruise control. And like I said, on the XLE Premium, you'll get blind spot monitor and rear cross traffic alert. Okay, so you saw the 2018 exterior, and it's important to know that Toyota made some changes for 2019. And starting up front, you still get only halogen headlights, which I think is kind of ridiculous considering the base Corolla gets LED headlights. But you get halogen headlights, you still get the LED daytime running lights, but then on the limited trim, you get high performance LED fog lights. So at least you'll have LED fog lights and daytime running lights on the 2019 trim. Another thing is, for this 2018, 18-inch wheels are standard, but on the LE trim for 2019, you'll get 17-inch wheels. The 18-inch wheels will still be on the XLE and the limited trim. And another feature for the new limited trim will be rain sensing windshield wipers, which are actually a pretty nice feature. You don't even have to touch the windshield dial, they'll turn on by themselves. And then another thing to stand out with the limited trim and to make it a little bit above the rest is there will be chrome trim around the windows, just to give it a little bit of an accent piece there. So this trim of the CHR does have a little touchpad right under here. You can lift this up. It's not a power gate, but it's easy to lift, and it's got a handle up here to hang on to. We do have this little tonneau cover right here that straps up on this rear glass, and behind the second row seats we get 19 cubic feet. Then when we fold those down, we get 36.5 cubic feet. And in order to fold those down, you do have to go into the back seat, and you can fold the headrest, which is nice. It's more convenient to do that. You can fold them down for a flatter surface. To give you a better look at the cargo area, we do have some pockets on both sides, plus we have lights. You've got a hook or a spot to hook right here. And then this is actually where part of the cargo cover goes, as well as that. As you can see, I left that side hooked up so you can cover up your stuff in the back. Underneath of here, we do get a spare tire with the jack over there. Nice to see in a small car instead of a fix-a-flat. And as you can see, that seat folds very flat right there. So at least this can be, you know, semi-practical with this space back here. And like I showed you, you can fold the headrest down. And then on top of that, we do have a little tie-down area right there, over there, and then one in each side over here as well. So Toyota's Smart Key system comes with this. The XLE Premium gets it, the base XLE on 2018 models does not, but it will on the 2019 models. The key fob does have good weight to it, and there's a couple cool things about this. So first of all, there's a couple lines on the door. You can touch those, put your finger on it, and we even have power folding mirrors and a little flash in the mirror. A nice touch for a vehicle of this price. Then to unlock it, you just slide your hand behind the door handle and you're good to go. Another cool thing is that these mirrors actually project a little CHR logo on the ground. So when you approach it at night, you have illuminated entry and it'll say CHR on the side. That's pretty cool. Getting into the front seats of the CHR are they're just a little bit higher than like a typical sedan. They're pretty easy to get into. It is kind of a short cabin to get into, so you do have to watch your head, but it's not bad at all. So starting on the base XLE for this 2018 model, you get 6-way sport fabric seats. They do have some pretty good bolstering, and like I said, I am in the XLE Premium. Our seats will be 8-way. You will get power lumbar with that, which is nice, but there's no leather option for 2018. These seats are not the most comfortable in my opinion. I do like how soft they are. They have like enough support. I like the bolsters, but the headrest is a little bit aggressive forward, and the shaping of the seat is a little bit rounded. It just does not promote the best posture like some other vehicles will. On this trim, the seats are heated in this premium trim, and the passenger does get 6-way power with the little pump action up and down adjustability, just like my seat does. But once I'm in here, I mean, this is a little bit more spacious than I would have expected. I'm 5'9", so I don't have any trouble really fitting in here, but I do feel like I am a little far back. This armrest is almost not usable because I'm kind of right up against this this pillar right here, but it is a soft armrest on both sides. I do have good headroom. I have the seat in its lowest position, and I do have room for a few fingers up above my head, so something to keep in mind. The steering wheel does tilt and telescope. It doesn't come out maybe quite as far as I would have hoped, but it's actually, you know, not too bad for a vehicle of this price and this class. So for those of you that want leather, the 2019 model limited trim will be able to give you leather seats. You can get the black leather seats, or you can get a mix of brown, and that's nice to see that added since we don't have that in 2018. Another addition for 2019 is that we only have these black cloth seats in this 2018 trim, but on the XLE trim, you will have the option to get gray cloth instead of black cloth if you wish. So once you get inside the CHR, one thing to look for is you will kind of notice some diamond patterns in different areas of the vehicle that I'll point out. So this is kind of an interesting textured material right here, and down below we do have a soft armrest and a nice door handle or little storage pocket there. This is actually semi-soft up above right here, which is always nice. And then down below we do have a bottle holder and a pretty slim storage area. Let's see if my tall bottle fits. It does, and that'll work right there. It's actually got a pretty solid door slam, and I think a lot of that has to do with the TNGA platform. So looking inside of here, it's definitely a pretty simple but unique pattern. As you can kind of see, like little diamond shaped controls for the AC even on the steering wheel. And then as we look up above, you have little diamond cutouts in the headliner, which is very interesting of Toyota. So what materials does this have? It does have soft materials up here, which is kind of a nice touch for this class. This area below the dash is actually semi-soft. It is still plasticky, but, and then of course you have your piano black material here. So on all 2018 models, you will get a leather trimmed steering wheel, but on the 2019, the base LE will get the polyurethane. XLE will give you the leather steering wheel. This is kind of a neutral size steering wheel. There's no sport grips, but simple 3-spoke design. You do have these black inserts right here. They are plasticky. I prefer just a true full leather steering wheel, but it's up to you. And taking a look at our steering wheel, we do have controls for our music, our voice controls. We do have Siri eyes free, plus controls, this little touchpad for our display up there. Typical cruise control stock for our full speed cruise with the adjustability here, and lane departure alert and warning setting to turn that off and on right there. Over on the left, we do have our fog lights, automatic high beam lights, fuel door opener, and the lighting adjustability right there. Let's go ahead and start this up. So if we have the smart key system like we do, put your foot on the brake, push button right there, and you kind of get the nice little CHR right there in the middle. So you've got two big analog gauges on the sides, and then you have a 4.2-inch display in the middle here. And to show you that, we do have a couple driving modes, the normal, sport, and eco, and we'll go through those on the test drive. Otherwise, this screen will show you some of your basics. It's not as detailed as I would have hoped, but you can scroll through a pretty good amount of information as far. One thing to mention here is the G monitor. So that little red dot, depending on how fast you're going around a corner or accelerating or decelerating, that will move to show you just how many G's you're pulling. So it's kind of interesting because this car does handle pretty well, so you can kind of see just how crazy you can go with that. As we keep scrolling through, this driver assistance little teacup right there, or coffee cup, it will light up and basically fill up that bar if it thinks you need to rest, and it will let you know if you're swaying over the road or anything like that. And then you can have a blank screen. That is what I've been averaging so far in my time in mixed driving, and I have had some full throttles throughout because I do feel like this is a little underpowered, but I have gotten better miles per gallon on the highway and worse in the city. We can also scroll through some more information, so you can see your cruise control, your lane departure system in use right there. You can see any messages for any any maintenance that you might need. Plus, you can see your driving mode here, your blind spot monitor, your forward collision, lane departure. You can adjust that there. And then as we move over here, we do have a 7-inch touchscreen, which is standard on every trim level. And I do like how we have some actual buttons over here and an actual volume knob. Actual buttons right here to help you tune. So this is the older system. This is not the Entune 3.0, but I have good news. The 2019 will have Entune 3.0. The only disappointing thing with that is that we only have a 6-speaker system no matter what trim level you get on this or on the 2019 model. It'd be nice to see an upgraded system. But this works just fine. You can customize your settings for your vehicle. You can do your Bluetooth, hook up your phone. We have an auxiliary output. It works just like some of the older Toyotas. Very easy to use, pretty basic, but it would be nice to see something a little bit better. There's no Apple CarPlay in here right now, but you will have Apple CarPlay for the 2019 model, just no Android Auto. And then of course Toyota does have a clock over there. Here are our air vents for the front passengers on the middle. Plus we have dual zone climate control, which is standard, which this has worked very well for me. You can even put it in eco mode to where it will kind of keep the fan speed a little bit lower if you need it to. And these do have nice feels to them. They do feel pretty solid. And then we have 3 tiered heated seats on both sides, driver and passenger, for this premium trim. And as we go down below here, we do have a USB port and an auxiliary port below that. This is a rubberized or a textured little shelf. It's a little bit deeper than you think. My iPhone Plus does not fit in there without falling out, but you can put keys or your wallet or something. Plus, I've actually kind of wedged my phone up under here when I'm driving sometimes, and it will stay put. This is a surprisingly large and deep cup holder. This shelf does get in the way if you have tall drinks, but you can kind of angle it in and go down and it'll work just fine. Toyota shifter here, we do have a CVT, and the interesting thing is when we put it in reverse, it's not on the main screen, it's actually up on the mirror. And it's pretty small. There's no dynamic lines if you turn the wheel, but that's something that I would like to see a little bit different. We do have an auto dimming rearview mirror, which is nice to have on every trim level. If we shift this down into drive, just basic drive for a CVT transmission, or you can move it over and upshift or downshift, but it definitely feels very synthetic. You can have a little bit of fun with it, or even just kind of engine brake with it if you want to. Electronic parking brake hold button to hold the brake if you're at a stoplight or a drive-through or something like that, so you can take your foot off, plus your traction control button to turn that off there. Another pretty deep bottle holder right here, which definitely fits my large bottle like that. Then this armrest, it is, it does have a softer material. It's not quite as padded as I would have expected, but it does feel pretty durable, and it does go back quite a ways as well. When we open this up, we do have a 12-volt power outlet, and that is it. It's a little deeper than you might expect, and not too bad of a size for this class. And as we go over here, there's no glove box. Just kidding. There is, but it's hidden down here. There it is. It's got a little button. It doesn't lock, but it does open up slowly. It is dampened, and it's actually decent size, but it definitely will crash into the passenger's legs being down there. Going up above, we do have basic lighting controls. No sunroof or moonroof available, and no sunglass holder as well. These visors do not... These visors do not slide or have an insert to slide out, but our window here is actually pretty small anyway, so it does cover it pretty well. We do have a vanity light plus, or a vanity mirror plus the light up above. And then if you're worried about visibility, there is a little extra little space here in the mirror, which does help. On this trim, we do have the blind spot monitor and rear cross traffic alert, but it does have big pillars, as you can see right there, and a very small rear window. So something to keep in mind, but if you get your mirrors angled right, you can see pretty well, and these mirrors are a little bit bigger than I would have thought, and I really haven't had any troubles with that. Okay, so we made it to the back seat of the CHR, and sitting behind myself at 5'9", my knees are pretty close. They're not touching the back seat. I mean, I can fit back here, okay. I can actually fit my feet under the seat, even though I have that all the way down in its track. So that's a plus. Anybody shorter than me should be okay, but it is a little tight for sure. So as far as headroom goes for me, I can feel my hair touching it right now, and on these outboard seats, it's actually a little bit tighter because it kind of swoops in and swoops down a little bit. If I move over to the middle, I can sit here and I can sit up tall, and my hair still barely touches it, but it's not quite as much as the outside portion. And this middle seat actually isn't raised up like you would expect, and there's just a small tunnel in the middle. There's no center folding armrest, but we do have cup holders on both doors. Plus, these doors are a little bit more plasticky than they are in the front, but you do get a door handle, a cup holder, and a decent armrest on each side. So under the hood of the CHR, powering this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine, so no turbos on this, and that will put out 144 horsepower, 139 pound-feet of torque, and that's paired with a CVT that allows you to shift it over into M to upshift and downshift, kind of like a manual. And then you can get 27 miles per gallon in the city, 31 on the highway for 29 combined. Now we're in normal mode to start. Let's see what this thing's got for acceleration. Pedal down. And as you can hear, there is definitely some drone to it. But the positive with this car is the handling is very good. This car could use some grippier tires, but that is definitely the strong suit in the CHR, and a lot of that has to do with this new platform. It has a fully independent rear suspension, and you can really hug some corners in here pretty well. It's actually kind of fun, and it would be a lot more fun if it was faster, but it's pretty darn slow. That's the brutal truth about it. So let's put it in sport mode, and obviously this car is not meant to necessarily be sporty or be fast. I've got it in sport mode now. Okay, throttle down. Then again with this handling, it just feels good. The steering is not the most accurate necessarily, but it's got a very balanced feel going around these turns. And in the sport mode, it's holding its RPM. So you step on it again, and it's ready to go. It's gonna give you the RPMs when you need it. But of course, that's not what this car is about. So overall, this car is fairly comfortable. These seats are not my favorite, but most people will probably be just fine in here. The ride and handling are the best features of this car in my opinion, especially the handling. The ride is good, the handling is better than that, but the ride, it will soak things up pretty well. For being a small car, with a shorter wheelbase, it takes on some bigger stuff pretty well. Nothing ever really disturbs you in here too much. It's definitely something easy to live with. One thing about it is, and in this class you can't expect much, but it is a little bit louder. It's one of the, it's kind of a louder vehicle when you're on some rougher roads for sure with the road noise. There is some wind noise that does come in. We do have an acoustic windshield, which does help though. I showed you the drive modes. Now I just shifted it over into manual mode. So we're still in first gear, and you upshift and downshift with the lever. Second gear, and it'll mimic those shifts, so you can have a little bit more fun. Or maybe if you're going down a real steep grade, you can shift it into the M mode and downshift yourself for a little bit of engine braking to save your brakes. But you can have a little bit of fun with this car. It's very easy to toss around. It's very easy to park. It is small. It's got small dimensions. The biggest thing about that and the styling is the blind spot. Now, these mirrors actually are bigger than I was expecting, and I can see things pretty well actually, considering how the blind spots are. We do have blind spot monitoring on this trim as well. You don't get it on the base trim, but it does help. It's nice to have, and I've made do without really any issues. Now when it comes to braking, it has pretty good brakes. The brakes do feel pretty good. It's got ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid disc brakes in the back, and it gets you stopped pretty quickly. It's got a good feel to it. There's no questions with that. But when it comes down to it, with what this competes with, would you buy it? I hope you heard some of the things that I shared about the 2019 model, and honestly, I would go for the 2019 model. I would hold out on this 2018 because I believe Toyota added value. One, they give you a higher limited trim with more features for not much more. Plus, the base LE model you can get for $20,000 something, which is less than the base XLE in this 2018 model. So something to keep in mind. Hope you guys like this review. I post videos every single week, so please be sure to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. Leave your comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.